so much for coming. All protocol observed. So the reason why we're here is because we are having an event based on cybersecurity, and before the guests came in, we were just trying to, talk about cybersecurity and data protection. So basically, in a nutshell, or rather in a simple language, meaning that your whatever you post or whatever you access online should be protected. So consent in terms of data. All right. So as we move forward, we'll be having keynote speakers who will be of course, giving us speeches and also talking about cybersecurity at large. So we want to say thank you, Riara University, of course, for giving this, for giving us space to host us, and of course you, the visitors. So tujipigieni makofi tafadhali kwa kukuja. All right. So I think we'll start the program. Sorry, we are a bit late kidogo, but not to worry because it's better late than never. Sindio? My name is MC Alan. I'll be your MC. I'll be the host for today. So I'll take you through the program and make sure that it's easy and everybody understands. And as I said, please feel free to ask questions, or rather, if you don't understand anything, just you're free. There will be a Q&A session, question and answer session, whereby we'll have to interact and get to know about what is cyber security. So, Sawa? All right. So I will start by inviting Mr. Professor Felix so that he can give us his opening remarks, and then we start. Wapi makofi ya Felix? Professor Felix. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. Yeah, it's my pleasure to be in front of you to give my opening remarks for this great day. I don't know whether there are people among you who is their first time to be at Riara University. Yes, I see the front row because, yeah, and a few on the other side. Riara University is one of the private universities in Kenya, started in 2012. By two great Kenyans, that is Dr. Daniel Gachukia and Professor Eda Gachukia. This is a legacy which started in the year 1974, from kindergarten up to the university. And I know you know the Riara group of schools and other schools which are affiliated to that particular name. Mine would just be to first appreciate you for coming here and participating in this lodge, which is historical. And I take this opportunity to welcome also our guest, chief guest, Madam Kaseit, who is the director, data, I don't know whether, commissioner, data protection. Yeah, and you know what data protection is. It's good to also give a clap for being with us. And before I give my opening remarks, it's good to know, when it talks about data protection, all of us, we are victims. And that's why she is here to come and share with you. It is a reality because now it's law. When you are taking me a photograph, you should be very careful whether I accepted to be taken a photograph, sending me a message whether I accept. So, karibu sana. So, I stand before you today with great excitement and a profound sense of responsibility as we gather to mark the launch of our ARU app. This is cybersecurity. You have seen it is a partnership between Acyberschool, and Riara University. And the School of Computing is privileged to act on behalf of the university in that particular partnership. So this momentous occasion not only signifies a significant milestone in our organizational journey, but also underscores our unwavering commitment to safeguard the digital landscape in an era where the interconnected world brings both opportunities and challenges. Because actually, when we talk about the IT landscape, it is opportunities versus challenges. And those challenges we face actually are of benefit to us. That is why you find now African problems actually create opportunities. It's not like before. So IT is there to guide us on this. So the digital revolution has transformed the way we live, work, and communicate. And it has opened up unprecedented avenues for innovation, collaboration, and progress. However, with these advancements come new threats and vulnerabilities that can have far-reaching consequences for individuals, businesses, and nations alike. So the ARU lab hub we inaugurate today is a testament to our recognition of the evolving nature of cyber threats and our determination to build a resilient defense against them. Because every day, cyber threats are always there. We are all on Facebook. We are all on Twitter, and we are all on WhatsApp. Whatever takes place there, that's where now the cybersecurity issues come in, which have compromised actually a lot of our activities. And this facility will be going a long way to train the professionals in that area, mentor them, look for opportunities elsewhere, and also give insight to the current situation in the communities. Because we know that the knowledge which we have and experience may not be enough for cybersecurity. But with this kind of training, we are going to be able to close that gap. So that is the aim of this particular hub which we are creating here. This hub will be able to monitor whatever is happening in the country and also in the general landscape. And if you have this program, you have seen about the ARU hub, what it will be doing. If you have this program, you can see it has said that we should hub for cutting-edge cybersecurity learning and collaboration, a resource for business to access advanced security tools, a focal center for multilateral organization cybersecurity technical support, and a regional hub for creating and incubating innovative cybersecurity technologies. So incubation actually will be also a niche in this particular cybersecurity hub, which we are partnering with the Acyberschool. You have also seen in the site, we are not able to identify and mitigate threats, which we see every day. We are not able to. But where do we run to? It's only the cybersecurity centers which can be able to help us on this. Most of people's websites have been compromised. But what they do, they just hold back and start looking for professionals who are not there. This is a place where we are going to produce more professionals, so that if you have a threat, you can be able to communicate to a certain person who will be a professional. And that's why we see in this particular hub, certification will be the order of the day. And I know in the future, we shall have a body like the engineering board, legislation board, where we can be able to safeguard these professionals so that we can know where they are. Look at the previous when the government websites went down. You could not even understand where to go to. But with that kind of a body, you have somebody you can be able to call and get a response. So that is very important. We shall also have what we call collaboration and sharing of knowledge. We collaborate with other bodies and share knowledge all over the world, not only in Kenya, because we know that we have a lot of connections here and there. We shall also have education and power. We know that there are very many jobs around the country and also abroad, and even online. These jobs can only be available to us if we have the necessary training. Because somebody will ask you, you are trained, where is your certificate? What can you do? Because now we are doing what we call skills-based training. There is also the issue of incident response and recovery. Those who have maybe been in IT, you know what we call fault tolerance. How long do you recover from a downfall? How long do you take if your web Wi-Fi is not working to satisfy your customers? And I tell you, if you are seated here and you have been in the IT landscape, the most blamed departments are ICT departments. Because sometimes they have challenges they cannot be able to address immediately. And that is lack of skilled people. So, as we embark on this journey, let us not forget the significance of our collective mission. This is a mission we should be able to work together. And that preserving of trust and privacy for the interconnected society is very important for us as we do what we do. And in conclusion, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all those who have contributed to the establishment of the ARU hub. You can see it is now taking shape. We really thank them for what they have done. Your dedication and expertise will play a very vital role in securing our digital future. Let us move forward with determination, vigilance, and shared commitment to building a safer and more secure digital world for generations to come. Whatever we do is for future generations. One time, if we have messed ourselves because of cyber threats, our next generation will ask us, you were there, what did you do? Let us do it now. So with those few remarks, I welcome you to this particular session. And now I take this opportunity to invite, I think as to invite Evelyn, but Evelyn is saying I invite my boss, who is my vice chancellor. He was not to come, but he had a lot of engagement, but I told him to pass by. He had already planned. This one we planned within a very short time. So we see, Professor Gataru is the vice chancellor of Riara University, and the man who has done a lot of things you see. I know you have heard about Riara, you have seen our graduation ceremonies, and he was actually the first person to order an online graduation, which was not possible during COVID. Let us give him a clap. And it opened, actually, all the universities were able to do the same. But because of time, his profile is on our website. Just go there and see the kind of man you are listening to. Welcome, VC.
Good afternoon. So our chief guest, Dr. Immaculate Kasait, the Data Protection Commissioner. For me, really, to have you around is really a great pleasure. You know, we have heard about the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, and many times we look at it from a position of, are we compliant? And I can confirm that Riara University is fully registered as a data controller. Our data handlers are registered, so we are compliant. Our distinguished guests, Tim, Daktari, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. We have a number of staff who are also here with us and students. My children were also somewhere. I don't know whether they're here or they're outside. I think they're outside. So I want to welcome all to Riara University, especially for those who it's your first time. If it's your first time, apart from the guests, if it's your first time, just put up your hand, let's see. For those of us who are internal, let's appreciate our guests in a big, 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 big way. So for us, this is a very, very important milestone. I'm not an expert in cybersecurity or data science, but this is an area that we are looking to build capacity. Besides this center, we also have a master's program in data science, which is awaiting accreditation by the Commission for University Education. And we look to build capacity for this country and beyond. But as I say that, for us, it's not so much about the numbers, it's about the quality. You can train 2,000 people who are not useful to anybody, but you can also train 20 who will change the landscape of a country and of a generation. For us, we focus as a university on, I've just mentioned 3 broad areas. One is employability, to make sure our students are employable. And we see very good employability rates. I was telling our guests that over 93% of our students have something to do within 1 year of study. And the last tracer study we did showed about 50% have something to do before graduation. Before they graduate, about 50% have something to do. Yes. And so we are truly, truly grateful that though we are small, we are getting somewhere. Strong and mighty. I like what Eva is saying, strong but mighty. So employability, then number 2 is on entrepreneurship and innovation. And we have a project we are running with the British Council and other partners on accelerating student businesses. And we've had over, I think, about 40 or so student businesses that have been mentored, and many other activities we do to enhance entrepreneurship. In fact, yesterday this place was full with students pitching their projects to potential investors and faculty. So, and then the final one is ethics and leadership. We're very keen on ethics. I don't want to re-emphasize that and the importance of ethics, especially in this country and this part of the world. So we want people who will go there and be ethical in whatever they do and really stand out, because we must change the trajectory of this country and this continent. We need leaders who are ethical and who are able to do the right things, even when nobody is watching. All right. I always say, many people complain about corruption because you've not had a chance to be corrupt. But the moment you find yourself in a place where you can put your hand and nobody will know, that's when the real test comes. Okay. So it can happen to anybody. Let's all be ethical in whatever we do. So I don't want to speak too much. I want to welcome you once again and wish you a good time. And I'm truly proud of this team, Prof and your team, Eva and your team, and all of us. We're truly, truly grateful. God bless you, and let's have a wonderful day. Thank you. Now, Eva can come and speak. Let's appreciate Eva. Tell us more about Acyberschool and what she does.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's morning. They say small and mighty. Don't be fooled by the height. Esteemed or distinguished guests, Data Commissioner Madam Kaseit, VC Dean, my very own colleague, Mr. Tim Kelly, and all the other cybersecurity professionals in the rooms, and friends and colleagues as well. Mine is very short because a lot has been said. I will not repeat what has been said. What I want to emphasize on is that this is just a beginning. It marks a journey that is starting very small, in a very small room today, but with very bold mission. And like the VC has said, Riara University is a brand that a lot of us are parents here. Even I see another parent in primary school down there. Riara is an educational institution that is identified with excellence, straight from kindergarten to primary to secondary to now university. That is why, as a cyber school, we chose to partner with Riara University specifically because they are visionaries and they are innovators. And going forward, we hope to build capacity, create employment, and also build community around cybersecurity. And that is what this hub will be for specifically. I know we already have a lot happening around in cybersecurity in the country, but it's all fragmented. And our guests will attest to it that the efforts we have in cybersecurity, and our distinguished guest, Mr. Mark Matumba, is going to give us a little bit about the cybersecurity status in the country. You realize a lot is happening, but everything is all over the place, so you really don't know what is happening. And you might think there's no much happening in cybersecurity in Kenya, but it's just that the information is very fragmented. And going forward, one of the things that this room intends to do is to make that information not fragmented anymore. If you want to know what is happening in cybersecurity in Kenya, you'll be able to get into this room. And it's not just the room. The room is a symbol. It's a collective movement of the cybersecurity community as a whole. So like I said, I'm not going to say much. I just want to welcome you and welcome our guests. We are running behind program. Oh yes, we are running very much behind the program. I know all of us are eager to hear from our speakers. So karibu tena. Big clap for
It's all right. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Tim to come and give us a keynote speech, and then we will invite the next one. Coffee? Coffee? So you have got your garden. Welcome.
Thanks. So I'm Tim Kelly. I'm a lead digital development policy specialist with the World Bank here in Nairobi. It's a pleasure to be living in Nairobi. I've actually lived here off and on for the last 10 years and almost can consider myself a Kenyan. I do have an adopted daughter who is actually a student here at Riara University. Studying international relations, so we do have a link here. Why is cybersecurity important, and why is the bank supporting Kenya's defences against cybersecurity risks? I think it really stems from the fact that one of the strange things about the ICT sector is that as the ICT sector becomes stronger in a country, the risks grow. And that's the opposite of what you would think. You would think that as the ICT sector in a country becomes stronger, the risks slowly ebb away. But that's not the case. The first country in the world to really experience cybersecurity risks was the Republic of Korea, South Korea. It was the first country to adopt broadband in the early 2000s, and it was also the first country to experience large-scale risks to its critical infrastructure. And that has been the case throughout the world. As countries grow their ICT base, as they grow their digital development industries, as they grow their digital economies, they become more and more vulnerable to cybersecurity attacks. Both fraud, both deliberate hacking, both bringing down critical parts of the infrastructure. And here in Kenya, we've seen threats within the last few months, a huge increase in the number of attacks on Kenya's Kenya's information networks, which have brought critical systems such as M-Pesa to their knees. And so we as a community, we as a country, we as the World Bank are very much committed to improving the defences against cybersecurity. And for that we are sponsoring a program called the Kenya Digital Economy Acceleration Program. It's a $390 million program which was approved by our board in March of this year. It's about to become effective. And it is supporting different actors within Kenya's digital economy to strengthen their cybersecurity defences. Clearly part of that is the Ministry for ICT and Digital Economy and the ICT Authority, but it also involves working, for instance, with the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, working with the Ministry of the Interior, working with Ministry of Education and other parts of Kenya's digital economy to build its cybersecurity defences, so that as Kenya's digital industry progresses, the foundations are in place for safe and secure growth. So as a bank, we very much support this initiative to establish a cyberschool here at Riara University. There is a great shortage of skills within this field, and there is a need as we move forward to increase our collective security. So that means not only Kenya's security, but also the security of Kenya's neighbouring countries, so that we together can build defences against criminality, defences against cyber attacks. And therefore, I think what we're doing today is a very important step on that road. Thank you very much. So it's my pleasure to invite our keynote speaker, Madam Immaculate Kasait, the Data Protection Commissioner here in Kenya. And and a near neighbour to the World Bank as well.
Thank you, Tim. What Tim didn't tell you, that if I don't come here, he may decide he's not funding me anymore. That's on a light note. And good afternoon. It's a Saturday afternoon. VC, I have to say I'm quite impressed to find a room full of people. Ordinarily, people on a Saturday, they go for sherehe. I am impressed that people are still awake and happy to be here. The Vice Chancellor, Professor Robert Gateru, Dean of School of Computing, Professor Felix Musau, Tim Kelly, the specialist of World Bank, Mark Matunga. Mark, I thought I was speaking after you, so I was waiting. Who is a cybersecurity expert and very knowledgeable in this area. And Evelyn, who is now who is the chair, I believe, of the Cybersecurity Center, and all the guests invited here. Good afternoon. I brought my daughter today. Please stand up, Chelimo, and say hello to people. That's my daughter. She's called Abigail Chelimo. She's joining Riara in January. So I told her, please come and have a feel of what it means to be in Riara. I want to start from where Tim has stopped. And just to say, I'm very honored. And I also came with, I also came with my colleague, Dalton. Dalton, please stand up. Dalton is head of communication at the Office of the Data Commissioner. Where Tim has stopped, and to contextualize cybersecurity in the bigger government's agenda. His Excellency is very keen on matters ICT and under the better transformation economic framework, which has 5 pillars. One of the pillars is the digital superhighway. Under the digital superhighway, which is the person tasked is my CS, Elio Dowalo, and my PS, John Tanui. Key issues are one, to automate the government services. We are now past 10,000 services. The other one is making sure we have 100,000 of fiber across the country. And the other one is, of course, the issue of the Wi-Fi in every single locality. We also the issue of skilling of young people, and our skilling. We have Jitume program, which is being championed by Konza. We have the government presidential cohort program, which recruits top students. It's run by ICTA. And also we have Jitume, we have Ajira, which is a program that continues to support this space. It's part of skilling. Having talked about that, of course, it suffices to also talk about who we are as an office. In that space, 2 issues in terms of data governance and also cyber security. As an office, the Office of the Data Protection Commission, I'm very happy, VC, to hear you have registered and that you're at the forefront of championing these issues of data protection. Data protection and cyber security, I have to say, are topics that have talked about recently. I'll speak first about cyber security and then move to data protection. When it comes to cyber security, that has been observed, we really have a serious capacity gap as a country. In fact, we are lucky as an office. I think we are one of the few people who have cybersecurity officers. And even to get one is almost impossible. And even when you get them, they will stay with you for a few years and then they'll be poached by the next person. That is, they are hot potatoes. They are highly sought. Yet, like has been said by Tim, as we continue to automate, it's important to make sure that our spaces, our cyber spaces are safe. I like to give an analogy when we speak about cybersecurity, because one of the things that he said is that the biggest risk factor in cyber, in digital and in accessing the internet is actually human beings. So we all live in a compound. We have all put our fences, and then we have this stubborn neighbor who refuses to pay service charge. And because they are not paying service charge, it means their gate is not manned. There is I'm explaining analogy we understand because we live in estates in Nairobi. because service charge is a common thing. So what do you think will happen? Because the rest of us have our walls, we have put our electric fence, but there's a neighbor who we are using common spaces to access the estate. What is likely to happen? See, that person becomes the vulnerable part in that estate. And then it becomes easy for anyone to access. So aren't we all exposed? So when we are safe, as long as all of us are safe. So cybersecurity, strengthening the ecosystem on cybersecurity, it will ensure that all of us are safe. And matter cybersecurity is not about when. It's not about whether. It's about when. And the Dean has talked about it. When you're hit, what is your turnaround? What is your core location? What are your protocols? How do you come back up? How do you reduce the interruption? How do you make sure that the brokers who are very common nowadays, they trade people's data, you're able to then not give in to the threats of them blackmailing you to ransomware? And how do you deal with that? But like the Dean has said, we are so scared about talking about cybersecurity. When you're hit, you sit in your corner and you hope nobody else discovers. Then your neighbor is hit, you also sit in a corner, and then your another one is hit. And then one day, you all meet in a cafeteria, said, you are hit, yeah, and you, and you. Kumbe, these things are common. I think time has come to say there's nothing shameful about cybersecurity hiding and declaring that it actually did happen. And if it does happen, then let's see how then we then have a conversation. And that's why I'm excited about this milestone. I have to really congratulate Riara for your thought leadership and a trailblazer, because you're beginning to do what many people hope they should have done. You're beginning to you've assessed and you've seen there is a blue ocean out there in as far as the capacity and skills of cyber security is concerned, and you're calling us to order and you want us to sit down, have a conversation, create a community, and that's where it starts. I like the vision that you see the future in as far as cybersecurity is concerned, and also get cybersecurity as a course at the university, which then get up the people who qualify, then move to industry. I'm impressed that your absorption rate is 95%. I have not had any like that one, because as an employer, you can imagine how many people who seek employment in our offices. We'll be sending some your way. So it's quite exciting, and I want to really, really commend you for this bold step. It's a dream that has been envisaged here, but we all say that a journey starts with one step, and this level of thought leadership is what will take this country even further. There is so much to do. So you are addressing a concern that is a concern to everybody in the country. We simply don't know what to do. And we are all simply scared. And we simply think that when we are hit by a cybersecurity threat, it's something to be ashamed of. I hope the institution will give us space where we can come and discuss and dialogue on possible threats, and also ensure that we are making sure the safe space is safe. From a government perspective, we are members as ODPC of NC4. NC4 is the National Coordination on Cybersecurity. We sit there, and it would be nice if you tap on some of those resources in terms of also frameworks, so that you're also sharing ideas on what is happening in that space. So, from an Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, for those of you, I'm sure you've all heard about us. Of course, we are very popular for having issued fines to clubs and sherehes. Anyway, as an Office of Data Protection Commissioner, our role and responsibility is to make sure that even as you collect data, you ensure that the clients whose data you are collecting is safe. The backbone of the Office of the Data Protection is on the principle of the right to privacy, and more importantly, to give dignity back to people where it belongs. Because we were used to sharing our personal information. We have been used to commercializing personal information, and we are not held to account. So the office is here to hold institution accountable. As an office, some of the key issues, key areas that we collaborate is in aware creation. I look forward to that kind of partnership with Riara. We also do capacity building. We also, as an office, do investigation. We also register data protection. We also, as an office, are responsible for making sure we position Kenya globally. As an office, we are also responsible for conducting audits. We have just completed an audit for a couple of companies, and we are looking forward to undertaking audit for 40 companies in the coming year. As an office also, as we also undertake investigation, and for the notorious people we fine. So if you don't fall in the category of notorious, don't worry, you will be fine. So that is basically our office. We are based, we are in 6 places in the country at the moment. We are in Mombasa, we're in Kisumu, we're in Nakuru. Our headquarters is at Britam Towers. We're in Huduma Center in Nyeri, Eldoret, and also Garissa. Our aim is to make sure we are operational in our office in 13 regions and continuously create awareness to data controllers and data processors. We have a staff establishment of 92, and we have so far issued 19 enforcement notices, 6 fines, and we have had over 2,000 complaints filed in the office. We have registered over 3,000 data controllers and data processors. Our policy as an office, and that's why we will make time to come here, no matter a Saturday, is partnership. We believe that as an office, an open door policy is what makes you closer to the people and your stakeholders. So as an office, we are keen to collaborate. Feel free as an institution to come and visit us. As I conclude my remarks, I want to wish the school the very best as you embark on this ambitious journey. I believe in your anniversary for next year, going by your trend of 3 students when you started, isn't it, Felix? 3 students to 700 students in a span of 10 years, you can only be very successful. I believe when we come to celebrate your anniversary next year, the year after, you will be leading the trail and a trailblazer in this area of cybersecurity, and we look forward to the greater days ahead. Thank you, and have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you very much, Immaculate. All right, so next on stage, I would like to invite Mark Matunga. Mark Matunga is... oh, you can sort it out. All right, a round of applause.
You don't want titles. No, don't worry. Just for protocol, because recently I was asked to actually chair a task force to develop regulations on issues, cyber security, cyber crime. That assignment was given by NC4 that Immaculate, Commissioner Immaculate is a member and a principal. That means that she's my boss. So it's not fair that I'm asked to actually speak after my boss. Madam Commissioner, the Vice Chancellor, Professor, and CEO of Acyberschool. It is an honor that I'm here today. My name is Mark Matunga. I come from Fangano Island in Lake Victoria. Anybody from Fangano Island here? Okay. That is, anybody visited Fangano? Really? No, I'm talking Fangano Island in Lake Victoria, not Fangano Street. Anybody who has visited Fangano Island, please see me after this meeting. I will give you a Christmas gift. And I promise. That's the center of the universe. That's where God lives and visits other places. I'm married to 1 wife, 3 children, and a grandson. That is just because Commissioner did introduce her daughter. And Professor, my deepest condolences to your family, and Paul Esana for the bereavement you have in your family. I've been given a topic to talk about, but I think I will not talk about this topic, Madam CEO, but I'll say something that is relevant and important, because this topic requires me to actually share a lot of data, and I have a 30 slide here that I don't think would be useful to actually share now. I will make that available to you online, and you can look at it. I spent some time in the US, but then when I came back, I did spend 10 years working for Microsoft, which is a small startup, if any of you know Microsoft. I also spent 5 years with Intel Corporation, which is also another startup, for those of you who might know. And then I basically ventured into a space whereby I do consultancy and set up something similar. And that is partly why I had to create time to actually come here. And it is important. I did set up Cybersecurity Institute as an organization that would assist with capacity building in cybersecurity in this country. But I quickly realized that nobody was taking me seriously. So I would go to the banks. They would say, "Oh yeah, we know you from Microsoft. We know you from Intel." And so what did I do? I went to the US and registered the institute in the US, and I registered the institute in Canada. So when I approach customers, I tell them that Cybersecurity Institute here in Nairobi is a sister company of Cybersecurity Institute in the US, and then they listen to me. That is a sad story. But the most important thing that I wanted to actually mention is the fact that, and Commissioner has alluded to it, Felix alluded to it, Honorable Vice Chancellor alluded to it, and everybody talked about it, the fact that there's lack of capacity. It is capacity that is not properly harnessed. We have a lot of bright, young people in this country that, given a chance, would do serious stuff in this country, and not just in this country, because I don't see Riara as just a university in Kenya. This is a regional university and a world-class university. That is where you belong. And whatever content, whatever capacity you're developing here, it's global capacity. And that is how I look at myself. I look at myself as a serious IT person globally. I see this center as a global center going to produce capacity that is going to help the globe, and it's going to help the international community. Because fortunately or unfortunately, anything IT is not local. Anything IT, because I can see now that are you live streaming? Is this on Zoom? Yeah, I mean, if you're on Zoom, anybody can see me from New York today, this moment, this minute, which means that what I'm saying here, even the Canadian guys will pick it up. Because if you're streaming, maybe you'll be even posted on YouTube. And so there's nothing that you're doing here that is local. And that is why I want to just encourage you, and I want to encourage Acyberschool, and thanks to Dr. Eva Olo for what you have set up. This is really something that is going to go not only in Kenya, but remember that actually cyber capacity that is deficient now is not just in Kenya. The whole world is struggling with this issue. And that means that whatever we produce here, whatever comes out of here, can go to sort out issues in Israel, can go to sort out issues in Australia, because it is a global issue. And that's why there are instances whereby a Mulot boy could be sitting in Australia and basically attack